It's my birthday.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday.
So I don't think Stevie would like you imitating him
Steve
like that.
love me.
I don't think Stevie would like.
Just the other night
See, and
while you were sleeping.
I see, and I was gonna go. It's your birthday. It's your birthday. That's where I was gonna go.
That's Oochie Coochie birthday.
That's the Oochie Coochie birthday. I like Oochie Coochie birthdays.
Hey,
Okay.
everybody.
What do we do today on my birthday?
We had a strategic planning session, working things out.
Okay. All right. And what'd you think about that?
It was different. It was a lot of fun. It was interesting. I mean, different things, going in depth on things with your life.
When you say interesting, that sounds like weird.
Weird. Kind of weird.
Okay. Can you close that? So I'm not sure why he's got his iPad
Because I
open.
want to see myself.
He wants to see himself, but we're going to go ahead and close that. We're going to close it
I was
because it's
looking-
distracting.
We just came back from commercial.
It's distracting.
Happy
All right. All right. So what was weird about the planning session that we had today?
It really, really kind of made you look at what your plans in the future are going to be, what your plans for your life is going to be.
What's
how
so
you're
weird
going
about that?
Because, I mean, who really stops and thinks what they're going to be doing day to day? And I mean, you're trying to get through the year, but you're talking about like 5 years out, 10 years out. What are you going to be doing? I don't know.
See, okay. We have been doing this. I haven't called it a strategic planning session, but we have been doing this ever since we've been married because I have always had a 10-year and a 5-year plan. But here's the thing. Well, I've always had a 10-year and 5-year goal. I have not always had a 10-year and 5-year plan that was executable.
Okay.
So basically, for the first 50 years of my life, basically, I've just been bumbling my way through life with no idea how to design my dream life, much less our dream life or anybody's dream life up in here. So, I mean, because it's one thing, to have a vision for your life, right? So I had the vision. I knew where I wanted to go, but you know what? Looking back at this point, I don't believe that I truly believed that I could achieve those goals. So I created a plan that really either was not executable or that had stuff in it that I knew I would not want to do. And I would keep putting off and putting off and putting off until it was just too late or whatever, right?
That's always the easiest thing.
Right? You procrastinate and kick that can down the road. And so I think that I created a plan that was not executable or contained tasks that I knew I wouldn't want to do because I didn't truly believe that I could reach my goals.
And now?
I did not truly believe that I could reach my goals. So if I didn't truly believe that I could reach my goals, then it was important to create a plan that I couldn't or wouldn't execute so I couldn't try and fail.
Oh, but now?
Well, now we're living our dream life. So
before you go any further, let's introduce ourselves.
Y'all know who we are. My name's Halisi.
And I am...
Who are you?
I'm Rick. Welcome to our Black Utopia.
Were you about to say Amon?
No, I was not going to say Amon. I was going to say Broderick. Or Amon.
I don't know what he's talking about. We are Halisi and Rick of Our Black Utopia. On our channel, we talk about money, travel, and retiring abroad as we build generational wealth.
Yeah.
Right? We live in Lisbon, Portugal, y'all. We have been, this is my second birthday retired.
Yes.
My second birthday retired when I did not think that retirement was even possible.
This is true.
Right? And so, yes, we finally had a vision with a plan that I thought was workable.
And made it work.
And so we made it work.
Made it work.
And so we made it work, right? So if you are new to our channel, let me tell you, about 7 years ago, Rick and I got a wake-up call as we were getting close to retirement age. We looked at our retirement accounts and the money looked funny. But about 3.5 years ago, we got our financial act together and we went from negative 22,000 to over 1 million in net worth. So if any of that stuff sounds interesting to you, please hit that subscribe button, hit the notification bell so that you know every single time we drop a video or go live, which we go live every Sunday at 3:30 Eastern time and every other Thursday at 5 o'clock Eastern time.
Yes.
Did you say every Sunday?
I did, because you didn't say crazy and I couldn't say cray cray or anything like that. So
Oh, I didn't give you your little line that you could play off of.
You just stepped on my line.
I think he thinks he's a rapper these days, so he's trying to get in there with the and the So is that what you're trying to do?
I'm a rapper.
Yeah, the, you know. No. So we obviously had a lovely birthday.
We had fun. It was
but
fun.
We do have notes for y'all. We do have a show. We ain't gonna just sit here and be goofy
for hours.
For an hour. All right, let's get started. So if you do not have a clear vision for your life, as we did not, here's the thing. Because it is really easy, especially if we were looking at our kids. And this is one of the things that we figured out when we were in the States. We're looking at our kids. And if you guys are watching, hey, we're talking to you. We've told you this in person. So
and we love you.
We love you. But we're not saying anything new. They do not have a plan for their lives other than make money. But money is not the goal. Money is the thing that's going to help the goal. And I think that's where people get thrown off, right? So we, especially as Americans, start the whole thing off on the wrong foot. When we talk to little kids, the first thing we ask them is, what do you want to be when you grow up?
This is true.
What do you want to be when you grow up? Like, everything that life is based around how you are going to do the thing that is going to produce some money.
Hopefully produce some money.
So what we're saying is the only point in life is to make money. And if that's how you start, then it's no wonder that we all go bumbling through life. Because as we've been talking about this all weekend. Mm-hmm. Right? We've been talking about this all weekend, and we were talking about how many clients we get who are talking about getting another degree, getting another certificate, getting another this or that to make more money.
Yes.
Right? To make more money. To make more money to do what? And anybody who's a Stephanie Perry fan knows it. You've heard her say it, and I'm going to repeat it. What is, and this has to do with the first step of having a clear vision. When you want to design your dream life, you really have to know what that life looks like. And he was doing the Christian thing. Oh, I want to be healthy and happy and joyous. I want to be blessed and highly favored.
Sound like that?
No, but it's that thing that we say because we don't want to say what we really want.
Yeah, that's true. Maybe because we don't really know what we really want.
Or maybe because we're afraid to sound greedy or whatever. Because you finally ended up saying, I want a jet. Yeah. Right? But you didn't start there. We had to work our way up past the blessed and highly favored, and I say that because religion has gotten us to thinking that money is the root of all evil. Not the love of money, but that money is the root of all evil is what people think. And I hear, especially from folks who are part of my old life, my old church life, I hear that, oh, I don't want to be rich. Baloney, you don't. Baloney, you don't want to be rich. Of course you want to be rich. Yeah. Of course you want to be rich. You just don't want to be materialistic. You just don't want to be greedy. And you don't have to be. You don't have to be, right?
Yeah, that's true. You
Yeah.
don't.
No. But we heard this from Jalen. Jalen, if you're watching, hey, I'm mentioning you. I don't want to be rich. I just want to be wealthy. Wealth. I want to have, be wealthy in relationships and in health and this and that. Baloney. You want to be able to pay your rent without worrying about it. That's what you want. Let's just get real.
And he'd take the jet too.
Yes, he would. Yes, he would. J Money.
Uh-huh.
The person whose name on Facebook is J Money.
He'd definitely take the jet.
Right? So you've got to have a clear vision of your life that is, like you said, free of preconceived notions without the blinders on, right?
Yeah.
Without the blinders on.
Got to take the blinders off.
So, yeah, if you were here last week, you heard me say that when I was a kid, I wanted to be a superstar. I took music lessons, dance lessons, acting lessons, triple threat, the whole thing. Born and raised in LA. Of course, this is what I wanted to do. What else? It was LA. Everybody in LA wants to be in front of the camera or be behind the camera.
Everybody's a star in LA.
That's right. So, but there came a point in my life, and because I'm of a certain age, and there was no YouTube back in those days, where I didn't really think that was feasible. Maybe because I knew at the time you had to tour to make money, and I had a child, and I was a single mom, and how are you going to tour? And am I going to just drag him around the world? That actually, now, Halisi today, that actually would not have been too bad of an idea. Dragging him around the world for work and having to work 12 and 15 hours a day would have been a bad idea. But dragging him around the world would not have been a bad idea.
But I always thought you would have an inside track.
Well, I did. I had parents in the industry. Right. So, yeah, it didn't seem like that was too far off as a goal. But here's the thing. And this is where we get back to the vision and creating a plan that is executable. Did I really want to be a superstar? Or did I want what that could get me? Did I really want to have an entourage every friggin' place I went? Did I really not want to be able to just go to the grocery store and buy some marshmallows? Or go to the movies by myself and watch the stupid rom-com and cry with popcorn and candy without people saying Beyonce, Beyonce, Beyonce?
Yeah.
That stuff gets old. That's the part they don't tell you about. But as someone who grew up in Hollywood hanging out, well, not with Beyonce's, but with maybe Destiny's Child, I know that stuff gets old.
I would think so.
Right?
Michael Jackson, so I would think so.
I remember we went to Denny's with the Jacksons, and we could not get through the meal with people coming. We went to Denny's with the Jacksons, y'all. Well, this was before Rick, right before I was a kid. Couldn't get through the meal.
I could see why not. Yeah.
Could not get through the meal with folks coming up, and this was way back. This was when it was still the Jackson 5. This is way back.
Why did they go to Denny's?
Because it was right across the street from the studio where Good Times was.
Okay.
And it was in between the shows. So, yeah.
Okay.
So this was in the days when we shot shows I was a kid. My mom worked on Good Times. So you would film shows, or it was videotaped live, 2 shows. And in between, because I was there every Thursday when Good Times shot, in between there would be a break. Mm-hmm. The cast would eat and get notes on the show, and the crew would eat. And then all of us would usually go somewhere and get food. We could get food with the crew. But one time when the Jacksons were there, we decided to go across the street to Denny's.
Yeah, okay.
So
that's
how it rolled, right? So no, it was not. I say all that to say that was a tangent. I say all that to say it was not unreasonable for me to think I could be a superstar. But back to the vision. What was the feeling and what were the trappings that I was trying to get from that lifestyle of being a superstar? Power over your own life, at least, right? Money is power. Money is power. Money is time. Money is convenience. Money is freedom, right? So basically at the core was the money. the money to be able to tell people to shut up, get out of my face, right? Right? The money to not have to worry about money, enough money not to have to worry about how basic needs are going to be met, enough money to be able to splurge from time to time, enough money to be able to do fun stuff from time to time.
Yeah, true.
This is like when I thought of being a superstar, it wasn't dreaming about how fun it would be to entertain people. Although that was fun. I did have fun doing that. But it was more about the life I would have off stage.
But that changes.
Exactly. Exactly. So if you stick with the feelings that you want in your vision, what feelings are you trying to recreate, and what tangible things does it take being in your life to create those feelings? So, in other words, if you are trying to create a feeling of abundance, what do you need to have in your life to feel that way? And do you need to be a superstar to get that? The answer is probably no. No, I don't need to be a superstar. And as a matter of fact, that would be counterproductive. So I wanted to be a superstar. I created a plan that was not executable. I did some stuff. I didn't do other stuff. I failed, as I knew I would. See, told you couldn't do it. So I shouldn't have tried anyway. But really, a lot of the parts to being in front of the camera, as I saw growing up with my mom and dad, I didn't want. So give me the rest of it.
Right.
Without all the yucky stuff. Oh, that's YouTube. We get to have fun entertaining people, but we still get to have anonymity.
Acting the fool, but
right?
you can still be you.
No, but we still go to the grocery store without people stopping us.
Still be you.
Right? Exactly. So have that clear vision and take the time to understand the feelings that you want to have on a daily basis. What do you want to feel like? And then what does it take? What are the things that you must be able to do on a daily basis? Yeah. What are the things that you need to be able to do on a semi-daily basis, on a regular basis, like say monthly? And what are the things that you want to do biannually or annually? What are these things? Hopefully you're writing this stuff down, because this is step one to designing your dream life. It's hard to design a dream life when you don't even know what your dream is. And your dream should not be based upon doing something to make money. That's not what life is about. Money is to make the dream come true, not the other way around. Money is not the dream. Money is not the dream. All right, let's say hello to who is in the audience now. So Ricardo's, your twin is back. Ricardo's back.
Ricardo's back.
Hey, Heather. Hey, Ricardo. Hey, Heather from the future. I'm glad you were finally able to catch us live. We love that. Hey, Greta, Cobb, Bill, C, Lucinda, Venus, you are back, baby. I'm glad. Now I know H-Town D-Man Games.
Hey.
I think I posted a picture with you in it on YouTube, I think from last week. I think because it was that one with we're all at the table, right? Yep. Yeah. So, okay. So obviously H-Town is here. KB, good to see you in the chat. Hey, Greta. Good to see you. Hey, Professor. Happy Sunday. Hey, Vicky.
Hey, Vicky, Michelle.
From New Jersey. You guys, it's 100 degrees here today.
Yeah, it was hot.
100 degrees. Hey, Michelle. Thank you for the birthday wishes. Thank you. Okay, y'all. I am 59 today.
You don't look it.
I got to retire at 57 years old. When at 54 years old, I had no idea if we'd ever be able to retire. So I'm really, really happy about that. But y'all, these numbers are starting to sound real.
They are.
They're starting to sound real, like real grandma-ish, and I ain't liking it. Hey, Jeanette, I ain't liking it. Hey, my piece. I know you guys are going to be in the audience talking about embrace this, embrace that. No, youth is wasted on the young. Now I get it. I get it. Hey, my piece. Hey, Tanya. Hey, Auntie Trey. Hola, Utopians. Hey, Meriton.
Hey, Meriton.
Hey, Regina. Thank you for the birthday wishes from Oklahoma on the job. You're on the job on a Sunday, Regina. I'm sorry. Yeah, it is my birthday, and we celebrated yesterday because I knew we were going live today, and I wanted to do the planning session right before we talked about planning sessions for your life. So I appreciate that. One of our lights went out.
It went out because I unplugged it.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Okay.
I was looking at the plug. And it's like I didn't plug it in.
Should we plug it back in?
Plug it. I can plug it in.
Can you do that?
I
continue to say hi.
You?
Yeah. You have to come from behind me. So sorry, guys. But I don't like the way it looks. So it got kind of dark. Hey, Marguerite. Yay. Can't wait till you get here. Thank you for the birthday wishes. Hey, Valerina. It looks kind of light. It doesn't look as bright as it was before.
It's not. I have to adjust. I'm making him go through all these changes.
I'm making him go through all these changes. And I'm a little distracted, so I'm slowing down. Hey, Carol, Action VJ. Thank you. We were just talking about you today.
Action VJ.
Did you feel the vibe? Did you feel us talking about you? Hey, Carmen. Hey, Carol. Hey, CL. Hey, D Walker. Nana. Hey, K Stewart. Nina. Nubia Net, Tunisia, Serpantha Man, CL Bird, In Pursuit of Excellence. I love it. Everyone, please hit the like button if you are finding this information helpful or interesting. Hit the like button and please share. Hey, Raquel. Hey, everyone. Stethoscopes Travels, R. Hogan, Joel. We love you. Latina Yogi. Alberto, I will get to your question soon. Hey, this is Eddie from Greensboro, North Carolina, and I wanted to ask, how low has the temperature dropped in the fall? How low? We've only been here for one fall.
What did it get down to? Did it get to? Do you remember it get down to 30s?
No.
40s?
In the fall? No.
Oh, in the fall, no.
No. I would say at the coldest part in the winter at nighttime, maybe it got to the high 30s. Maybe.
Never freezing.
But we weren't awake to feel it, that's for sure. So usually at night it's in the low 50s in the winter. Maybe mid 50s, high 50s in the fall. I don't know. We've only been here one fall so far. So, all right. So we'll answer questions in a minute. But let's stay on track. So you want to have a clear vision. You are designing your dream life. And here's the thing, and the reason why Rick and I had the session is because our whole goal was what? Just to get here.
To get here. Yeah. And we got here.
So now what? Right. And this past year, what I realize is that I thought I felt like I was living here, but I don't think now I know that I didn't feel like I was living here. Isn't that interesting how unaware we are of our own feelings? It's really quite pathetic. At 58 years old, I still don't know what I feel, but I thought I felt like I was living here. But I always knew two things. One, we don't have our green card yet.
No, it wasn't official.
Right. And two, we have to go back to the States to wrap things up.
Yes.
We figured out some stuff that we're going to tell you about that had we known before we got to the States, the information was there. We just didn't take the time to think about it. Okay. So we'll tell you about that in a minute when we get to step 2. But had we taken the time, and so we're going to talk about scheduling in free time as well. Had we taken the time to figure out this information before we had gone to the States, it would have changed the whole dynamic.
The whole way of thinking, the whole way of, instead of going back there with not a defeated attitude, but I wish they'd do what I say.
Very frustrated.
Kind of, frustrated.
Knowing that putting on armor, putting on our battle armor, not just the armor that you need to deal with the racism in the United States, but the armor of just drama, right? And
I
so,
need to plug this one back in too.
yeah. Why did you unplug them?
Because I was trying to adjust them.
Okay. So he's in charge of the tech. When the tech ain't right,
Blame me. It really is my fault.
blame him.
Because I was setting up and I unplugged stuff so I could adjust it.
All right.
Okay.
So you want to, when you're taking the time to create this vision, what does it look like on a daily basis? How does it make you feel when you're visioning that life? What is the feeling that you're getting, right? On a daily basis. What are the things that you must be able to do on a daily basis, on a regular basis, and on an annual basis? In other words, I need to be able to get Starbucks coffee whenever I want. I need to be able to have a gym membership. I need to be able to take 2 major international trips per year. Whatever that is, I need to be able to have weekends where I do absolutely no chores. I need to, whatever that is, to feel like I have abundance. Okay. So I need to be able to take, arts and crafts classes whenever I want, or whatever, I want to take.
Go on walks, learn new languages,
Tango.
tango lessons.
What's that smile mean?
I'm looking forward to taking
What's
tango
that smile
lessons.
mean? You gonna take some tango
I
lessons.
didn't say I wasn't. Did y'all hear me say I wasn't? I didn't say I wasn't.
I want a tango
Okay.
with my husband.
Alrighty.
It's a cool dance.
You got it.
I want you to want to do it.
I do. I want to do it so bad.
He doesn't.
Look at my face. Don't I look like I want to tango, y'all?
When I put on that sexy dress and them heels, he gonna change his mind.
I ain't gonna want to tango. I'm gonna want to tango. Get tied up, tango.
We gonna tango, then with tango.
Okay.
All right. Now, understand that knowing how you will make money has absolutely nothing to do with this visioning exercise. I've already said that, but it deserves repeating. This is not an exercise in what you're going to do for a living. This is not an exercise on how you're going to make extra money. This is not an exercise on getting that next promotion or any of that stuff, because we don't care about any of that stuff. And you shouldn't care about any of that stuff unless what brings you the most joy is going to work.
Our school and earning a new degree to keep having degrees. Because there are people that do that.
Why though?
Don't care about the money. They just want the initials and the letters behind their name.
For free, yeah, but I don't want to do homework. Then you need to run your numbers. You need to run your numbers on what this life is going to cost.
Say it one more time.
You will need to run your numbers, baby, on what this life is going to cost.
Right. It's important.
Why?
Because when you don't run your numbers, you don't know what you got to do, what you got, what you don't have, and what you need.
No. We talked to a client 3-4 days ago who will be walking away with $100,000 pension and is afraid she's going to be homeless one day. Run your numbers. Okay. Had we run our numbers, then we would have figured out that our situation was much different than we thought. And it's kind of like I had been doing it in my head, but it wasn't until
you put it down to see it.
I got an epiphany 4 days before we got back. We had replaced toilets and this and that and
We
all
spent
of this stuff.
we
We spent
spent
a
a lot
grip
of
of
money.
money
We spent a lot of money.
on the properties. And we were trying to find another situation for my mom. She lives in a condo that I bought for her 20 years ago. Um, and she reverse mortgaged it. She took it, reverse mortgaged it. I know. That reverse mortgages are from the devil. Avoid them at all costs. So Rick and I bought it back from her because she was going to lose it. And so our whole thing was we told her that she was going to have to come up financially with a certain amount of money in order to help save this condominium. And what we figured out once we ran the numbers is we bring in enough money collectively
Mm-hmm.
to pay that mortgage for 14 years. In that 14 years, we will start losing money on the investment. But for 14 years, we can afford to pay for it without losing money.
Yeah. So we were kind of.
So we were giving ourselves stress
Yeah.
when we already had done what needed to be done for that investment. But we didn't know because we didn't run the numbers. We just did it in our heads and thought, and we had already thought we had figured out a solution, but we never came up with plan. Well, what if that doesn't work? It was just, no, we just plow ahead. We got to make that work. But we got to make that work because there is no other solution. The solution is make that work.
Right.
Right? We never even turned around to look to see if there was another solution.
So a lot of times you've already put things in place, speaking to them. We've talked to different people that have things in place.
Yeah.
It's like you're ready to do your thing.
Yeah.
But you just
have not run the numbers.
Your numbers.
All right. So, and I still got the happy birthday up there from Raquel. All right. So, what are you guys talking about? If you have any questions about what we've said so far, you guys know how we roll. You put a Q in front of your question or comment if you want us to put it on screen. So, designing your dream life, the first thing is have that clear vision. We've talked about this before. We're putting it another way because we've done different things today that we haven't done in the past. And we've had some revelations. So as we learn, we're just going to transmit it to you. And when I ran those numbers and when I showed Rick those numbers for our finances and for the expenses, our monthly expenses and our monthly income, what did you say? What did you say in your head? Because I don't remember what you said to me. But
what did I say?
Yeah, once you realize, oh, why were we worried? I mean, like,
I don't think we were worried because we weren't worried. We know we were.
Weren't we though?
We were. No, I don't think we were worried because if we were worried, we would have did a whole lot more to
True.
turn things around.
Soft, low-key worry.
It was concern.
Okay.
It was concerned of just saying, why can't we get somebody to cooperate? If they just cooperated, we could do this and we wouldn't have to worry about this. But, just that extra frustration, that extra.
Yeah, but there was still some concern that the money that we would be over budget on a regular basis.
I wasn't really concerned about that as much as you might think I was.
Really?
I wasn't.
Then why were we stressing so much?
I think we were more or less stressing on people or person.
Maybe sometimes people need to communicate and tell each other what they're thinking and not assume that they know.
Maybe.
You're learning this live as we talk, y'all. Because I truly thought that you were concerned that it was going to eat up our emergency fund.
No.
Okay.
I wasn't worried about that.
Cool. All right. What are you guys talking about? So let's go. I'm going to go back down to the bottom. Here we go and see where we're at. I see some questions. BP is in the house. Mel and T are back. They are back from Thailand, and the ballers are in the house. We got to see you this week. We've got your slap your mama and your Splenda. We got your Splenda. We got your slap your mama. What you need? What you need? What you need. This is, you see, did you hear what I just said, y'all? This is why it's so hard to learn a language, because this is how we talk. What you need. Anyone trying to learn English
what you need, what y'all need,
would say, what in the heck did she just say? Okay, so I see Greta's question at 8:51. Is there anything more? I'm sorry, y'all. We were talking a lot longer than I thought, and I just want to make sure that I didn't miss anyone's question. So I'm going to go to Greta's question if the next one I see is the one that's off topic. Let me see. I don't see anything else, do you?
Nope.
Okay. Nutrition for diabetic seniors is in the house. That is a long name, but we know what you do. We know. Halisi, did you get your scarf in Portugal? Thank you. No, I didn't. This was a gift for doing a speaking thing on a Kwanzaa one year. But thank you. I love accessorizing. Okay, I think we've got it. Okay, so 8:51. You don't need to gain or lose weight with accessories. They always fit.
I've never heard of that.
It's probably a woman thing. They always fit. You don't have to go on a diet. You know, you can always go buy a new scarf. All right. So there we go. Greta. All right. Greta says, do you guys have an air conditioner in your apartment? Yes, we do.
We do, but there's not central air. So you have air conditioners, but they're in separate rooms. So you have to be very conservative.
Well, it's good because it saves electricity.
Because you're just using it. Like if you go in the living room, we had the air conditioner on where we were.
It's cool.
Having our session, and it was nice and cool.
But in this third bedroom, there is not an air conditioner. There's an air conditioner in the main, in the second bedroom,
in the guest bedroom,
but not in this office. And so
we have the shutter closed, to keep out noise and light.
And we should have had the shutter closed all day when the sun was beaming in here. That's what we should have done. So we'll know. Did you close it earlier? So we'll open it at nighttime, let some air get it in, and try to keep it cool for the next Thursday that we have to do. But yeah, y'all.
If somebody said LED lights don't cause heat, they lie, because they do cause heat.
Yeah.
Not like regular lights, but they do cause heat, especially when you're enclosed in.
So yeah, so we didn't have, and that's the reason why we're having this conversation today, right? So it was, and that's when I figured out that I did not feel like we lived here, but that we were on vacation, because I didn't have the what do we do now feeling. I didn't get that feeling until it was time to come back. And I was like, oh, we need to have a planning session, because now what do we do?
Yeah.
Right? The whole thing was retire, move abroad, retire, move abroad, retire, move abroad. That was the whole goal.
And we did that.
And so now what? And it can't just be make more money or travel. Although we did have some of that. We do have a list of places that we want to see.
Yeah, we have a lot more travel to do, and
yeah. But our list looks more personal than that. So although there's some materialistic crap and all of that usual human stuff, there's a lot about, working on our relationship, making sure that that's continuing to grow, make sure we're working on getting healthier so that we can enjoy all of the things that we want to do. And the next step to that is actually scheduling the time on our calendar. So if we say we're going to walk every day, then it's got to be on our calendar. And then we've got to hold each other accountable. And we'll talk about that as well. So you've run your numbers so that you don't do an estimate. I'm telling you guys, had we run the numbers. So did you work at KTTV or CBS? Because it was Metro Media. Okay, KTTV. Yeah. That's funny. You used to watch tapings on your break. Soul Train used to tape there too. I used to go watch Soul Train. Okay, so I know you don't have a cue in front of this, but I'm putting it up anyway. That is the one thing that people don't think about: cultural and daily life differences. Other countries do not operate like the States, right? We have to easily obtain where you can easily obtain things, just everything, right?
Well, an example. So we have a gentleman that owns a coffee shop right across the park from us. And when we got back, we're like, okay, it's Monday. He's not open.
Is it a holiday?
Is it a holiday? Is he at a, because one time he didn't open, he went to a funeral. But then Tuesday came, it's like, okay, wait a minute. What's going on? He's open every day, every weekday. So we go by and look. He's on vacation for a month. He ain't come back till September 9th.
Get your coffee somewhere
Get
else.
your coffee somewhere else. And of course, the first thing that comes to my mind, the American mindset, is, well, why doesn't he have a family member or another employee come and open his business so he could be making money?
He's missing out on that money.
He's missing out on all kind of money. You know what? He don't care, because it's not about that.
And I said, maybe everyone that he trusts is with him on vacation.
Probably.
Meeting him at the family reunion or something.
Yeah.
Or maybe he's thinking, why would I make somebody else work in August when we should all be taking vacation? I don't know. It's a whole different way of thinking. And so for some, not being able to go across the way and get their espresso, like, that's just unacceptable. What do you mean? The sign says you are open daily from this to this. What do you mean, right? If that kind of life, if having the signs mean that that's the rule, that's the law, if having that makes sense to you is your thing, and you are unhappy when things are inconsistent in that way, you do not want to live in Southern Europe. I'm just trying to tell you, you do not want to live in Southern Europe. And so I've always been of the mindset that I never wanted to sweat the small things. So for me to be happy, I need to have put myself in a situation where I can be very nimble and go with the flow. I like being able to go with the flow. That's how I view myself. And so I try to live that way.
It's a good way to live.
I think so. That's why I do it. That's why I do it. Thank you. It's my birthday look. 59. I got new makeup. I got new makeup. Or I got more of the same when I was in LA. Thank you. My spouse and I really need to listen to this together. Looking forward to seeing the replay, and so sorry I can't stay. Yes.
Come
yes.
back. Come back. Definitely.
Come back. You are welcome, Ricardo. Come back, because what we don't want is for you to be in the same situation as some of the people that we know, where in 2018, the complaints were A, B, and C. In 2020, the complaints were A, B, and C times 2. In 2023, the complaints were A, B, and C times 3. It's the same stuff. Like, you still are dealing with the same stuff. How are you complaining about the same things? How are you complaining about the same damn things? that you really have been complaining about for 10 years now, and you have done nothing. We don't want life to just happen to you. Once we decided that we really could take control of our lives, and part of taking control of our lives was having a vision of what that life was going to look like, and then figuring out how much money it was going to take and getting the money to do it, right?
Right.
It's just simple as that. It really, truly is as simple as that. But so many of us are so afraid that we'll never get it, that we never try, and we just bumble our way through life, blindly going through the day, go to work, come home, do your chores, go to sleep, wake up, go to the gym, do it over.
We're like the horses with the blinders.
Exactly. Doing what's in front of you. What's in front of you.
There's a whole world on each side of us. We're just...
Exactly.
You missed a question. I thought.
Did I?
Further up. What was it? I thought I saw Q.
From...
Keep going. Right there.
Oh, there we go. Ooh. Alicia, you look great. That's my birthday glue.
Oh, that was a question. I thought it was a question.
That's a question. That a question that needed to be put up there. I got a birthday glow. I just...
happy birthday, Alicia.
Thank you, Penny and June.
Penny and June.
Yes, I got my chocolate cake, and we just got it from Continent. Bomdia Continent. Just a Continent Bomdia.
Very good.
It's good.
I got your bourbon too, by the way.
Oh, that's right. We got your bourbon. We got your bourbon. We got your Splenda. How much of trip back to US made you see your new life?
I almost said the whole trip.
Yeah.
It really showed us how much we were missing our new life.
Definitely.
I mean, you love to see family and things like that, but it was more
in spurts.
It was more work than anything.
Yeah, it really was. It wasn't, if the trip was simply just to visit with family, that would have been a different trip, but it wasn't. We still had some things we needed to look through. I had left, I didn't realize we had left some things on the top shelf of the closet, the master bedroom closet in the back. When our daughter started bringing out all this crap that included like keepsakes and stuff, I was like, oh God, I thought I was finished with that crap. So there was all of that stuff that we still had to do. I still had to look through my dad's, like yearbook stuff and all of that stuff. So I think, part of going back to the States for me was flipping a chapter, like flipping the page in a book to a new chapter, in that the days of my life and the relationship that I had with my parents, those days are over. Right. And I don't know that I'm not still processing that. So there's a mourning going on. Right. So to me, I felt like there was a mourning of the end of that life in the States, period. Even though a lot of it was yucky, there was always some good stuff besides our family and friends. There was always some good stuff, right? And so there's a mourning of that. But then there was also a mourning of the relationship that I had with my parents and the fact that my parents are no longer my parents. And so basically my parents have died. Right? They're physically still here, but the people who raised me, even who advised me as an adult, those people are gone. They're gone. And I had to reconcile myself to that with my mom more than anything. It was eye-opening how much decline has happened just in the year, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, I would, and I really want you to be clear on that when you say that your parents are gone. Because physically they're here.
Yeah, physically they're here, as I said. But the parents who existed, who advised me even as an adult, are gone. In other words, they are no longer those people anymore.
Oh, yeah.
Right? They are no longer those people. They are no longer capable of being those people. So I am mourning the loss of the parents that I used to have. And now there are two people who really need me to exist. So it was hard, y'all. It was hard. And so now that we're here, we've got our green card. We don't have anything that has to be taken care of in the States now immediately that is tugging us there, that is making us feel like we are not home. Right. And so that was a major change, which also led me to say, it's to what next?
Right.
What next? So you run the numbers. How much will that life cost? And then you have to have a clear plan. So we're going to get through the rest of these comments and then we'll get to the clear plan. Dreams can come true, y'all.
They can. They come true.
Oh, thank you, Arnold. Aren't you sweet? Aren't you sweet? Why are reverse mortgages bad?
Maybe the reverse mortgage that you get, what types you get.
No.
I'm not sure.
Reverse mortgages are a way, I believe that they were a way to make sure that corporations and the government are able to keep hold of tangible real estate. There's just what is the reason? So you have to think about what your goals are and what you're trying to do. Now, I will tell you in general why reverse mortgages are bad. One could say that the whole purpose of buying a house is to stabilize your rent. And that's all you want to do is stabilize your rent. And there will come a point where you can't afford that rent. And so you will let the equity that you've built up pay your rent for you. And then you die and you leave and it's over. And as you say, you save money to get the things you want and need. Well, I don't believe in saving the money on your house to get the stuff you want, but definitely the stuff that you need, right? So, because we're talking about survival level right here. We're not talking about a hierarchy of need. We're talking about the needs, just basic survival, right? Mm-hmm. So if that was your plan, then fine. But most people who get into a reverse mortgage, that was never the plan.
And that's why I said I don't know, because I don't know the different reverse mortgages. Are they all the same?
They're all the same.
Do they all act the same?
They all act the
same?
They all act the same in that what they do is they pay themselves back by using the equity
in your home,
the assumed equity. But what happens? Let's just say you buy a house for $200,000. It is now worth $350,000. You get you're 70 years old, 75 years old. You get a reverse mortgage. You live to be 100. By the time you're 100, you could conceivably run out of equity. By the time you're 85, you could conceivably run out of equity, depending upon where you live, right? Then what happens? Then you lose everything. You have no investment. Mm-hmm. You have no housing. You lose everything. The bank takes it, it sells it. And so because it's not going to go into the red. So that's the one thing. The whole idea in the American dream was that you would buy a house in your 30s, you would live in it, you would pay it off. And then by the time you got to Social Security, you would not have a house note. That was the idea. But then they started selling us on the idea of buying bigger houses. So you never paid a house off. If you never pay a house off, obviously there comes a point where if you don't save a cajillion dollars, you're not going to be able to afford your mortgage. Well, if it were me, if I were in a situation where I were ready to retire and I had a mortgage that I had for, let's just say 20 years, but I can't afford to pay it off. I still owe 10 years. And instead of doing a reverse mortgage, what I would do is move out and rent it out. and use the extra rent not only to pay off the mortgage, but also to pay my new housing. That's what I would do. Therefore, it becomes an investment. If I get a reverse mortgage, I just give the bank back the money that I grew over the 20 years that I was paying the mortgage.
Right.
I just give it back to them. And then there is no generational wealth or anything. There's nothing to pass down. And if you want to die at zero, if you have nobody to give it to, then it's no big deal. But if you had intentions on leaving your grandkids or your kids anything, or you needed your house to produce income, you looked at your house as an investment and not just a place to live,
Yeah.
then a reverse mortgage never makes sense. It just never makes sense. And then it gets weird because as you get a certain age, what I learned with my mom is that they assume that you're going to die. And so the predators come out and they'll start doing things like saying, oh, she's dead. Take the house. Nobody's claimed it. Take the house. And so we were getting letters and we were constantly having to prove that she was still alive. Y'all, it's a scam. How do you not think about the money without a plan to get the money? How do you make the vision happen? It's not that you don't think about the money, Sherry Main. It's not that you don't think about the money. It's that you don't put the money first. We start by talking about the thing that we're going to do to get money as opposed to the kind of life we want. If you want a life that is nomadic, right? Like if you envision yourself traveling around continuously, why would you get an MBA to open a Taco Bell, for instance, right? I think we start the wrong way. I think we start with saying, I want to be an entrepreneur. Do you? Do you really want to be an entrepreneur, or do you just not want people to tell you what to do on a daily basis, right? Maybe being a coder is good enough as far as anonymity. Right? But if you start with the money, if you start with what do you want to be when you grow up? If you start with that, then you don't start with the right question. So that's all I'm saying. Once you figure out what you want your life to look like, then you will be able to figure out how to fund. You can figure out how to fund it. And maybe you don't have to get 1,000 degrees in order to fund the future lifestyle that you want. Some of the glow is sweat. It's hot. It's hot. How can you find communities in foreign countries compatible with the lifestyle you desire? So we're going to talk about that. But the biggest thing is twofold. One, either you can find them on Facebook and in WhatsApp groups, but start with Facebook. Mm-hmm. So we have a Facebook group. It's called Our Black Utopia's Fire Over 50. You don't have to be over 50. You do have to be from the African diaspora. You have to be interested in getting your money straight or interested in helping other people get their money straight. So FIRE stands for Financial Independence, Retire Early. Facebook group Fire Over 50. And there you can find like-minded people who can be your accountability partner, which will lead us to how you create and execute a clear plan. We missed y'all too, but I'm sure you have fun, and I can't wait to hear the stories, Mel and Tadasi. Oh, thank you. This is sweat, y'all. This is sweat. I am sweating. It's hot.
What, I ain't glowing? I'm glowing.
No, men sweat, women glow. Women glow.
I think that's...
You were poor until you did what? So we were, okay. I was never poor. And I say that not from an ego standpoint, but from a standpoint that I have to recognize that I was born into privilege. I was born of two parents who were college educated. I was born with two parents who had careers, not jobs, right? Like there were certain things that I had that other people may not have had. I didn't have parents who knew what the heck they were doing with money. That's for sure. But I had parents who were able to do past entry level jobs, right? Both of them were television producers. And so I've never not known where food was going to come from. But I have not known where the rent was going to come from. I have been there a few times in my life, but in general, there has not been a season of poverty in my life. So, but the biggest thing, so I say that to say, look, some people are just making ends meet, and what we have to say is just not going to help until you get past making your ends meet. So we're not talking to everybody, but if you are past that making your ends meet, then anyone should be able to reach financial independence. And the biggest thing is until we did what? Until we learned to control our spending, until we were brave enough to look at
Right.
where our money was going and then assign a job to every single dollar of income that was generated in our house,
That right
regardless of whether it was generated from our stock portfolio or from our labor.
That right there.
Yeah. So every dollar had a job. And once it was assigned a job, then willy-nilly spending ceased. And we realized that even had we gotten the big contracts, the big, recording contract and all of that stuff, we still would have been broke because we would have been spending it all on twin Teslas and crap like that. So until you get your spending under control, nothing else matters. What were some of the questions you had to ask yourself to start thinking differently for your dream life? So one of the ones, as we already said, was not starting with the money piece, but really starting with what do we want our life to look like?
Yeah.
And what do you want your life to look like if money were not an issue? You guys have heard us say this a lot, and we're going to continue to say it. One, because there's new people. Hi, new people. Welcome to our Black Utopia. Thank you for joining. But the other reason is because a lot of us have forgotten how to dream. So if money were not the issue, what would your daily life look like? And here's the thing, we're here to tell you that probably, I think I could comfortably say 90% of the dreams that y'all have probably could come true faster than you think and can come true.
Oh, yeah.
Be very, very careful. And the other thing is, Mary, is not thinking about the thing that I wanted to do for the money, but thinking about the feeling that I wanted to have with my life on a regular basis. What feelings did I want to have? I want to feel like a superstar, but I don't want the problems of a superstar, right? I don't want the lack of anonymity, but what I want was the financial carefreeness that I believe superstars have, right? What I want is the power to control my destiny that I believe superstars have. So what other ways can I get there, right? So did I really have to go to med school to get the things? Or is operating on people, for instance, I'm thinking of my mentee who is in med school right now, who said at 14 years old she was going to be a doctor. And here we are 10 years later, and she's in med school.
She's in her residency.
Is she already in residency?
Yes.
Dang, that was fast. She just left.
No, I think she's in her second year of residency.
Oh my God.
I saw her post something, but she loves it. That's what she wants to do.
If bringing you joy really is that thing, then that's one thing. But how many of us can really, really say that? How many of us really have careers that if nobody was paying us a dime, we'd still be doing it?
I'd almost have to say, though, if you wanted to be a doctor, that takes a lot. It takes a lot of schooling.
I
It
know a
takes a
lot
lot
of
of
doctors who did it for
sacrifice.
the money. I know a lot of doctors who did it for the money.
I guess I just never asked the question, but it seems like that would just,
It does, but the payday, the payday, the payday. Oh yeah, they want to help people, and oh yeah, they want something, but in there is always that payday.
don't do you no good if you don't know how to handle your money.
Exactly, exactly. And so again, back to the spending. So, all right. Ricardo asks, how do you determine where you wanted to move to abroad and how long did it take you to stay there until you made a final decision? Don't overthink it, baby.
Nope. Spain was first. South Africa was first.
South Africa was first. If you've got the vision, that's half the battle, right? How do you see your daily life? If in your daily life you see yourself chilling on the beach, there's certain places that are just not going to be acceptable, right?
Right.
So what do you see yourself doing, Ricardo? What do you see yourself doing? What do you want to do? If being at the beach is one of your things, do not settle. Don't settle. So if you know what you want, then it's easy to make the decision. Now, is Cascais the beach you want to end up on, or is the French Riviera, or the Spanish Riviera, or the Italian Riviera? Just get your butt over here. If you don't bring a bunch of crap, if you figure out you don't like it, pack up your bags and move. And it's as simple as that. It's not that deep. It really just is not that deep, but that's how you remain nimble. Okay. If you're not shipping a bunch of stuff, then if you don't like the place, you can always move.
Yeah.
So there was a YouTuber who was living here who moved to Bangkok. And then some friends of ours, David and his wife, lived in Mexico for a couple of years, figured out that the weather wasn't working with allergies, and now they're in France.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah.
So so I know I'm not answering your question because I know why you're asking. I know you. Stop being indecisive. Pack your bags. You've got the money. Let's go. Let's go. It's not that deep.
Go see it. See if you like it.
Come here for 3 months. Come here for 3 months and chill with us. Spend a month and a half here, maybe spend a month and a half in Spain. Okay? But it's really not that deep. This is look, you are not, this is not like, back in the day in Britain where you took a test in 5th grade and that determined your life and that's it. It's not written in stone. You can change your mind. I promise you it will be okay. What other areas do you guys consider when deciding where to move?
South Africa.
Yeah, so South Africa, Spain, for a minute, Canada. But once we understood what we should be looking at for a move abroad place, and that's another video we've already done, that took some places off the list. Okay. So how to create a scouting trip list, how to do a scouting trip for a move abroad, all of that stuff. And I know I've got some super thanks to thank. All of that stuff was done in another video, and we can talk about that. So I'm at 9:15, and let me get to these super thanks because we have the first one was a while ago with Dave. Thank you.
Dave.
So for those of you who don't know, all of our super chat, super thanks, super sticker money goes to our scholarship fund. We may have just given another scholarship away. If you sent me an answer and I did not, no, I did. I did send you the coupon. Okay, I did send you the coupon. So we are getting ready. We just gave away a scholarship. I believe if she took it, then we don't have scholarships available right now, but this $5 will start the next round as well as our other super chat. So thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Dave. And then we also have, who else is in the house? Let me go. Oh my God, look how far down this is. GMAC.
GMAC. GMAC 2.
GMAC, does that mean you like Macintoshes? Does that mean your name is like McDonald or
Like
something like that?
GMAC Daddy. What
Make
else?
you jump. So if you don't go, you'll never know.
You'll never
That's
know.
what I'm
You
saying,
got to check
right?
it out. Yeah.
Right? Tell Ricardo, get into his stuff. So thank you so much for the super chat. We really, really appreciate it. And are you a new name? Welcome to are we the Bluetopians? The Black Utopians?
Yeah.
I don't know. That was Regina's, the Bluetopians. Y'all let me know what you guys want to name this community. Bluetopians, Black Utopians. It's funny. So I just thought that was hilarious that Regina was already trying to coin something. So thank you so much, GMAC. We appreciate it. We are saving up for another scholarship. That is to Beyond the Bling Money Mindset Makeover for Financial Independence. We talk about everything that we're talking about now, as well as investing, real estate investing, side hustles, and things like that. Is there any fun things for teens? Okay, so I'm not sure what that question was about, but I'm gonna hide current comment and get back so we can stay on topic. I was at 9:15, right? Is that what I said?
I don't know. I didn't hear you call it out.
I think I said 9:15. Yes. Because you were poor until you did what? And then Mary asked, what were some of the questions you asked?
And Alex, she asked another thing up further, or made a statement right there. I agree. Oh,
She's
talking to somebody else.
Yeah. So Ricardo asks, how do you determine where you wanted to move? I already read that. Baby, if you don't pack them bags, I know you're laughing right now. I know you are.
Come on over. Bring it over.
I know you laughing because I know that you know. Overthinking that stuff. I find this new visa requirement timing is suspicious given the political racial climate in the USA. I think you said this in one of the comments too, didn't you, Anne? Do you think it may make it harder for African Americans to leave, especially if the rump wins? So no, they have been working on this ever since 9/11. And the beginning of this whole kind of TSA era type of stuff. I think because you're dealing with 30 different countries as opposed to just one country, that it was easy to do the TSA just for one country, but you've got 30 countries with 30 sets of rules domestically, and then as the EU they have to come together to create something. That, coupled with the fact that places still needed to update their ID protocol, right? So we didn't have a database with IDs in it. We just got digital passports, not too long ago. And this real ID that we have in states, right? That's the same kind of thing that they had to develop over here as well, but with 30 different countries, not with 30 states or 50 states, right? So I think that's the reason, really, and not to keep us out. On your way to discovering a country to relocate to, did you try France? No, because I was learning Spanish. I wanted to learn French. I didn't, because of the attitudes I've heard from the people that live in Paris. Thank you, Body Electric Supplement. You are so sweet. Thank you so much. There's Regina. Would you suggest short-term goal as a check-in for the long-term goal? I plan to retire in 3 years, have a certain amount of money in 1.5 years. Absolutely. Which leads to the next step. So let's get to it, and then we'll get back to the comments. Have a clear plan. Have measurable goals to keep you on track. So Rick and I came up with 5-year and 10-year goals. So we came up with we came up with 5-year and 10-year goals, right? But we started kind of backwards. We started with, what are you most proud of in the last year or two? in your personal life, and then with our Black
With our
Utopia.
Black Utopia,
Right? What are you most proud of? What are you most disappointed with? What would you have done differently personally in your personal life? What would you have done differently? So some of that stuff was personal talk about what we would have done differently with each other, as well as what we would have done, like what I would have done differently with this move. And then some of it was what we would have done differently with the launch of this YouTube channel. And we start all of that because once you get to where you want to go, you want to be able to look back and say, is there an opportunity to make those same mistakes? And how can we avoid them moving forward? That's why I always start with saying, what were we most proud of? Yes. What can we pat ourselves on the back and give ourselves accolades and let's, happy, yeah, we did the damn thing. Okay, great. Now, what are the things that we now in hindsight would have done differently? And I use that as a way to then, when we start visioning our life for the future, knowing where the potential mines are that we need to avoid.
Yeah, what needs to be changed, what needs to be worked on, what needs to be reinforced and done again and again, the great things, the good things.
Yeah. So take the time to make sure all of the things in your vision have a plan to make them come true. So if Rick says he wants a jet, I said, that sounds like a lot of work.
In 10 years.
So I changed it and we came up with the ability to be able to pay cash for a jet and whatever it takes to run the damn jet, not just have it sitting somewhere.
1.5 million maintenance.
Yeah, we know. So we might decide in 10 years, no, we don't want a jet. One, it's bad for the environment, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So we might decide 10 years from now, but that goal of being able to have the choice to say yes or no, that's what I want.
That's the key.
Right?
I'll settle for
You see this look on his face? What he gonna settle for? What you gonna settle
today? I'll settle for a little
business class seat instead of economy. What you gonna settle for? A paper airplane.
A paper airplane. Wow.
All right. So yeah, so we set the goal of 5 years and 10 years and the corresponding financial goals. So what we wanted to be doing on a daily basis 5 years from now, and then what we wanted to be doing on a daily basis 10 years from now, and what that BHAG was, what was that big, hairy, audacious goal. And the big, hairy, audacious goal for us is then within 10 years be able to pay cash for a Gulfstream jet.
Only $71.1 million.
And then there was some personal stuff in there too, but we're not going to talk about that.
But also for a drone.
The assumption is that if we can afford that, all of the other things on our want list, we can afford as well. So we don't have to get into listing every single little thing that we might think we might want to do in the future. That kind of encompasses it and makes it real clear where we're trying to go. We're trying to get to the place where we can write a check for $100 million. That's what we're trying to do in 10 years. Okay, so that means, so now we look back at our 5-year plan, which was too modest.
Yeah, so we have to bump it up.
So we had to bump it up. We bumped up our 5-year plan and the financial goals, and then where we needed to be in our personal life to be able to reach our personal goals as well. So then we looked at our 1-year plan. And that had to change. And that's where, okay, so that's where the rubber meets the road. Because you look at your 5-year and you go, okay, if you want to be able to write $100 million check in 10 years, then you better be able to write a $1 million check in 5 years. That means in 1 year, should you be able to write a $100,000 check? And do I want to work that hard to get there? So now you're relooking. Does the life I want really take the ability to write $100 million check? Do I want to work that hard?
Right. So you see the questions it poses to you, and it helps you get a clearer picture of what you really want.
What goals do you need to achieve in the next year to make your 5-year goals happen? What do you need to achieve in the next month to make your 1-year goal happen now? When I told you that before I was creating plans and not executing, here's where it goes. Okay, so what do you need to achieve in this next month to make the 1-year goal happen? If you are not doing those things, then the question is, do you really want the ability to write that $100 million check? Or are you just saying that? Is that just some stuff you're just throwing out your behind? We will see. Do you really want to be the most fit in your life 10 years from now, but you ain't going to walk around the block today? We will see. If you are not doing the things that you need to do
to get you there,
then you have to ask yourself, why? Do you really want to be fit? Or are you good saying, you know what? I'm going to blow this thing out until I die. I'm going to eat what I want, not exercise. And when I go, but I'm going to go having fun. Maybe that's your thing. And it's okay if that's your thing. You do not have to be the person who stays fit until they die. Like, that doesn't have to be you.
No.
And if you are not taking your behind outside to walk around the block, maybe that's not you. And just like, or maybe there's a different kind of exercise you need to find. But if you are not compelled to go to the pool, to try yoga, to do line dancing, right? Like to do anything, maybe being fit is not your thing. And stop fighting it. I don't like seafood. I'm not trying any. No, I don't want any of that swordfish. But I have tried it from 0 years old until 30 years old. I don't like seafood. I'm not going to try it anymore. I don't like it. I don't want to try it. Give me some chocolate cake, please.
Yes, ma'am.
So if you are not doing the thing to reach your goal, why? Do you really want it? We did what was necessary to get our butts to Lisbon, Portugal in faster than a year.
Yeah.
We wanted it.
We
got approved for residency for 2 foreign countries in 6 months. We wanted it. We did the things, even the things that I didn't want to do, making copies and sorting all of this paperwork and doing all of that stuff that I hate doing, but I wanted the goal more than I hated doing the thing. If being fit does not compel you to walk around the block, then maybe you don't want it. Maybe you really don't want it. You can have your dream life. You can have your dream life. We're giving you permission, but the universe and God or whatever has already given you permission. You can have your dream life. And if we, two bumbling, I'm a fool, he's my husband. If this bumbling fool and her husband can figure out how to have our dream life, then you certainly can too. And it can come true today, in this lifetime, not in the afterworld, because you're blessed and highly favored. No, in this world, in this lifetime.
I understand.
So you want to take the time to make sure all of the things in your vision have a plan to make them come true. What goals do you need to achieve in the next 5 years to make your goals happen? What goals do you need to achieve in the next month to make the 1 year goals happen? What daily and weekly habits are you creating to achieve your goals? So I have an accountability partner. Hey, Angela, if you're watching. And she helps me, and hopefully I'm helping her stay on track with some of these goals. It's hard to do this stuff alone, especially if you are creating your dream life and everyone around you is telling you to go get that degree, girl. Go get that degree. Your job is paying for it. Go get that degree. For what? And you're thinking, no, I'm going to do the opposite. I'm planning to stop working. Not only do I not want the promotion, I want to stop working. That is incomprehensible for a lot of folks, especially if you are under the age of 60. That is incomprehensible.
Yeah.
But 60 ain't promised. 50 ain't promised. 40 ain't promised,
Not
right? I know some people, my best friend died at 41 years old. Right. And so if you think that it is guaranteed that you're going to have this time at 70, I'm here to tell you, do not hold out waiting for a pension that's going to give you $150 more and miss 3 years of your life. So what are you doing on a daily and weekly basis? Are you creating the habits to achieve your goal? One of the habits that we had to do was having a meeting every week about YouTube. We never had a YouTube channel before. We needed to make sure that we knew what the heck we were going to be talking about when we talked to you guys. We needed to do research. We needed to practice. We needed to plan. And if we didn't do that, then my question would be, do we really want a YouTube channel?
Right.
Do we say we want to help people. We say we want to be the people that we needed to see 3 years ago. But if we're not doing the thing to make that thing happen, to talk to more people, then do we really want to do that?
Right.
All right. What are y'all talking about? Questions, comments? Thank you, Marguerite. The glow is sweat. So no, I appreciate it. I will receive your compliments, but some of the glow is sweat. Took your advice from last week. I'm retiring in Mexico September 24th.
All right, date from the
but
birthday.
started to put my stuff up for auction today. Feels great. Yes, yes, yes. When you run the numbers, you don't have to operate from a place of fear. You operate from a place of power. Had we run the numbers prior to going to the United States, that whole trip would have been a lot different, and you would not have seen some of the reticence that you saw in me before we went, because there would have been some things that I didn't have to do, or there would not have been as much pressure to try and get done. Have your family guilt trip you for moving away from your parents? Yes. I feel daughters are left with caretakers' responsibilities. So my mom has. My dad doesn't realize that I don't live in the States anymore. And he doesn't realize that he's not taking care of himself either. So, but my mom is like, you just abandoning us, huh? So, yes, sons sometimes do seem to be able to get away with a lot more, Simone. But here's the deal. I do think that we have a responsibility to our parents, but that responsibility does not mean that we physically have to be the one to do the thing. My responsibility is to make sure that it gets done, but not to do it. I figured out with my father that I was really, really good as a caretaker up to a point. And past that point, no. And I was being a shitty daughter, is what I was doing. In my ego telling me that my parents ain't going to be in no that facility. Well, if you're not capable, you're not capable. And not only was I not capable, I didn't want to do it. I did not want to do it. I did not want to do what I was required to do by the end, right? Like at the beginning, it was easy.
To do.
It's a lot, y'all. It's a lot. So I had to reconcile with myself that it was okay to let someone take over the day to day, and that my job was to make sure that he understood that I was making sure that he was being taken care of, and that I was making sure that I stayed in touch with him. And, and so now when we talk, it's a much different conversation than we used to have, because before it was just frustration. And now when I talk to my dad, it's, a loving conversation, as much based in reality as you can have with someone who's not based in reality. Now my conversations with my mom are a lot different, because I don't have the same anxiety around her situation that I had before. So my responsibility is to make sure that they are taken care of, not to necessarily have to do the thing myself. My job is not to wear a cape and be somebody's superhero. And my job is definitely not to be a martyr and say, my life does not get to have joy because I now owe people who did not teach me how to find joy before I got old because they didn't know. So now I'm going to martyr the rest of my life too, taking care of. No, and they wouldn't want that. Deep down inside, they don't want that. Parents do not want to clip the wings of even their old behind kids. They don't. A lot of that stuff is stuff that we put on ourselves. Now that your home is now in Lisbon, have any of your friends or family members reconsidered moving abroad? Are they inspired to reconsider doing it? I have a lot of friends, but the couple that I have, yes, they have considered moving abroad.
Yes, a couple have considered moving abroad.
One said if he was younger, he would have definitely done it.
Yeah, one said if he was younger, he'd have definitely done it. He's in his 80s, but going on 60.
Yeah.
But yes, I've had some people say, God, the biggest thing is for them is fear.
Yeah. You ain't even got a passport.
I can't, how you, it's like you do it. You do it. You figure out what you want to do and you get your plan of action and you do it.
And you do it.
You can always, I can always buy a ticket to go back to the United States.
We can always go back. Are you saying with the folks who have the same complaints year after year chose the wrong country to repatriate, or this about unrealistic expectation having 59? Thank you. So no, I'm talking about in general. So I'm thinking about the family member who's still complaining that, still ain't got no money and things, and the boss is always doing this. And why are you still on that job? You're still on that same job with the boss who hasn't given you a raise in 5 years, and you're still telling us about the same debt you still have because you're on the same lousy job and you won't go get a new one. And we told you about this, that put in a word, but you didn't even send over your resume.
Yeah,
why are you still talking?
And the problem is they're not doing anything about it. They don't really want to do anything about it, or they're looking for you to give them an answer on what to do. And when you give them the answer, they're not going to
do anything about it. So, right, because there's no quick, easy fix.
You're right.
Right?
A lot of people want quick, easy fixes, and it just doesn't work.
It does not work that way. It does not work that way. And so the folks who have the same complaints year after year, not about that would be like, Rick complaining that they don't have Starbucks French roast coffee here in Portugal year after year after year. That shit gets old. Like, I don't want to hear it. It's okay now and it's funny and it's cute, right? But 5 years from now, no. That's goofy, right? So, but we're not talking about those kinds of things. We're talking about when you haven't changed your life and the things about your life you are complaining about, but you've done absolutely nothing to change it. And so for me, I always had complaints about my bosses because I never wanted to be bossed around. I can admit that at 59 years old, I can admit that I never wanted to be bossed around, and maybe nobody ever wants to be bossed around. But what was I doing to change that? And so, on the one hand, I could say, yeah, we started a business. I was an entrepreneur for a while. Then, after running for office, I had to go back to work because momentum in the business and it wasn't bringing in the same amount of money anymore. But I still didn't have an exit plan, and I didn't have a plan on how that was going to grow to a point where we could retire. This is a form of mourning for the type of relationship you had with your parents. Exactly. And due to their state of mind. Exactly. 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 And so I'm telling you all this because you might go through something similar, and I want you to be able to give yourself grace and recognize it because I didn't recognize it. The term reverse mortgage has always sounded suspect to me, right? Reverse mortgages are anti-generational wealth. They are.
Oh, definitely.
They are absolutely anti-generational wealth. I've heard bad things about reverse mortgages. The bad things have to do with not getting the value money-wise in many conditions. Yeah, I think people don't read the fine print. And the other thing is HUD is buying up a bunch of reverse mortgages. Somebody needs to tell me why. Why is HUD?
Government wants in on the game.
Dave says, stay out of all debt. Do not mortgage anything while U.S. Treasury bills are at 5.4, right? No vacations. No vacations? Dave. Here's the thing. If you save and plan for it, then you save and plan for it.
Yeah.
Reverse mortgage story. My family member in San Francisco sold a house for $2 million, valued at $3 million, old Victorian flat. She reverse mortgaged it for over 30 years and is only walking away with $70,000.
Yeah.
And there you go. Because we know San Francisco is no joke. And a little bitty bungalow is millions and millions of dollars. So, yeah. And that's why reverse mortgages are bad. Like, it depends on your plan, but by and large, reverse mortgages do not work and they don't tell you this stuff. My mother took a reverse mortgage and spent up all the equity. It was a mess and still is, but I still don't think it's bad for everyone. See, nothing is bad for everyone.
Yeah, and I think, like you said, if you own a property that you're not planning on doing anything with, leaving with anybody or anything like that, reverse mortgage might work for you. Might.
It might.
As long as you don't run out of equity.
And that's the thing. And if you don't understand how that works, you need to make sure you
read the fine print.
Find somebody who does and can help you understand that. Dave says, don't chase zeros, chase commas. I love it. Yeah, but moving out is a smart thing. Most people are too attached to their houses, and that's the real issue, right? You have when you're investing in real estate, and we have, we're working on the real estate investment masterclass. It's taken a little longer than I thought. Sorry, folks. It is really important. We do get emotionally attached to the houses that we buy, and if you go into house buying with an investment cap on and not a homeowner's cap on, then it changes the whole dynamic. It really does. And it's the quickest way that I can see to the buying GMAC. Is the quickest way that I can see to financial independence. The least amount of money needed for the quickest gain. Is there any fun things to do for teens? Okay. So I don't know what this question is in relationship to.
If you bring teens here.
If you're talking about Portugal, baby, this is a whole big country. Guess what? There are families here with teenagers. Come on now, you know that.
There's fun things for teens to do.
So the teenagers here have fun. What do you think? Come on, guys.
And they ain't shooting each other.
I was addressing the title of the video. Oh, okay. And they're not shooting each other, exactly. But they are kind of on their phones still, too.
Yeah, well, I'd rather have them on their phones than shooting at each other.
Exactly. I know this is off topic, but have you been to Lidl yet? If so, do they have home goods such as sewing machines?
We went in one.
We do go. We have a Lidl bar.
We have one not too far from us.
We've gone into.
We were going to go into the other day, but we didn't.
Yeah, we've been in two because remember, Homeboy was still in the party at the one in Saldana. Right? He was shoving all this party stuff down his pants, big salamis and wine. I have not. Cold. They are so much smaller here, Auntie Trey, the ones that we have been in. I have seen little sections of things like that, but I've never seen a sewing machine. And I would notice.
Pots and pans and different things like that.
I would notice because I need to get a sewing machine. So I have not seen one. But that doesn't mean some of the bigger ones that are out in the suburbs may have them, or right. So
I'll have to double check for you.
Yeah, glad you made it home. We are too. We were those tickets back to the US really expensive. Yes. How often will you? Is this Nika and Tracy, the in between? I believe so. How often can you make the trip without breaking the bank? We could make the trip every year. Will we? So I can get sick again? That food made me sick. Oh my God. And as I start to eat the food here, we just, for my birthday, had Nepalese food from one of my favorite restaurants
right down the neighborhood. Street. So good.
And it didn't leave me heavy. It felt cleaner. I didn't have a chemical taste on my tongue. No bad indigestion. It just, y'all, that food made me sick in the States. And I thought people were exaggerating, but I was in pain every single night. Hey, Ronick, every single night. Okay, so High Vibe says that's so true, Halisi. We have forgotten how to dream. We have forgotten how to dream. Our dreams are more than likely in alignment with our purpose. Right. We chase checks and not meaning. Yeah. Exactly. And that's what I mean. So we'll get to executing the plan in a minute, but the whole notion of what do you want to be when you grow up? We just start the whole process of talking about the future in the wrong way instead of what brings you happiness, what brings you joy. Life is too short. It really, truly is, Bert, because no, I never would have been a superstar because deep down inside, I don't believe that I could have been a superstar. And now I see, now that I'm mature enough, I see that I would not have wanted to be. I just want the other stuff. Just the other stuff. Give me the money. You can keep that. No anonymity stuff. That's for the birds.
But that money can bring you a lot of problems too.
Not as many problems as not having money. That's for doggone sure. Let me tell you. If the difference is 100 million or nothing.
Oh, well, yeah. Come on now.
But either way, a broke person who's worried about how they have to eat, or a person with $100 million worried about what other family member is going to call them asking for money, which one would I choose?
No.
Right?
I'm not talking
what kind
simple.
What kind of problems are you talking about?
I'm just saying that a lot of money can cause people want to take your money from you. having to worry about how your money is taken care of, or hiring other people.
We don't have to
do
worry about
things.
any of those things because
Well,
we
no.
learn how to take care of our money ourselves. We grow our money ourselves. That's another thing about being a superstar. When you go from zero to a lot overnight and you haven't been taught, that can also be
Yeah, if you don't know
detrimental,
it,
right?
if you don't know.
But with the FIRE movement, because we understand how FIRE works, I don't think more money would cause more problems for us.
I mean, I take it.
It won't. How long is enough to know if a location is for you? How long should a scouting trip be? So I can't talk for you because I don't know you. But for us, and what we suggest in general is I think a month should be plenty of time to figure out if a place will work, at least in the short term. Not forever, because you can't figure out everything. No place you can figure out, and places change, right? But we knew within a week. We had done enough research. We had been to Europe for a long enough time to understand a bit about the lifestyle. We haven't really been surprised about anything.
No.
Everything that could drive us crazy, we already knew about.
Yeah.
And decided we don't care. And so then it just comes to, what does it really come down to? Are you a city person? Are you a beach person? Right? Like, what are the things that you like to do? If you don't know that, you need to take time to know yourself. And here's the thing, as Americans, we don't know ourselves. We don't. We're so busy. We are so busy. As a matter of fact, until Rick and I took a month off before the pandemic and came to Europe, I would have told you I want to retire on an island. I would have been miserable and bored and sandy. Sand all up my cheek
You used
cheek.
to live in the mountains, though.
Yeah. And that's how I figured out. Like, how did I not figure out that I'm a city girl? I like cities. I like the energy of people. I like things to do, museums and old cathedrals and all of that stuff. And I like the beach too, but not every day, all day, day. No, I want both. I want both.
I could take the view every day.
The view every day, definitely. So you got to really know who you are. And that is one of the reasons where so many of us go bumbling through life, because people have told us, what do you want to be when you grow up? I want to be a transformer. You don't want to be a transformer, son. You want to be an FBI agent, don't you? No, I want to be a transformer. But an FBI agent gets to save the president. Oh, well, the Transformers saved the president. Yeah, but Transformers don't really exist. The boy wants to be a Transformer, but we change. So what is it about Transformer? We never asked, why do you want to be a Transformer? Maybe he would have said, it's because I want to be big and powerful, not that I want to save the president. We always start.
That's the reason why.
We start with the wrong question, and we don't ask why. We don't know who we are. And then we put stuff in our kids' heads, these expectations on what they should be chasing, to the point where they don't, and by the time they get out of college, they're probably so in debt, they don't even have time to think about what they want to do. And we rush them around from this activity to that activity to this activity because they've got to compete. And if they don't get into the best schools and they don't get the best jobs for what? To what end? To do what with? So that they can live a life and be happy, but they're working this job 60 hours a week, getting paid $200,000 a year, but they have no peace and they're not happy. So now what? A scouting trip should not take you long if you know who you are and what you want to do. I really want to live in a country that has easy access to explore other countries and affordability, which is why we chose Portugal. Have you heard of Eurail? Yep. Traveling via train, one ticket to travel to 33 countries. Yep. We haven't taken advantage of that yet. Why? Because I always felt like we were
in the middle.
in the
You're
middle of
always
stuff.
unfinished.
As soon as this happens, then we'll be able to do this and that and this and that, right? Get our green card and this and that. So now we can start taking advantage of this stuff. Look, I'm calling folks out. I am calling folks out. I know we're way behind, y'all. I know we're way behind. Is the trip back to the US, did you bring a load of stuff when you returned to Lisbon? Not as much as I thought we were going to bring, right? Like we brought more coffee than anything else, food-wise.
Do we?
Yeah, we bought like 6 things of coffee.
No.
Yes, we did. We see. We brought back a couple of things of hot sauce. I didn't bring any. I forgot the maple syrup. There was a couple of things that I forgot. I don't know what I was thinking. Too much Splenda because the restaurants don't tend to have it, and I don't need that stuff. But mainly, what I wanted to ship back was my art, and I did get to bring some of it back. We haven't put it up yet, but and then it was like, what else can fit in the bag since we've got to ship this? And we get this up to this weight without paying more. Just traveling was our dream until we found this community of Blacks living abroad. We recently decided we want to do both and are working on residencies. Yay!
Yeah.
Right? That was our dream too. We did not think that living in a foreign country was actually possible for people like us. We knew it was possible because I knew other people had done it, but not for people like us. That's what, Black folk who got them white folk job do, or rich white folk. That's what they do. That's not what normal Black folks do until it is, right? Until it is. Are you helping me look here? We're looking for
right
questions.
there. You just passed one.
I did. Oh, there. See? Thank you.
Any meetings coming up?
Rebel Jade Fires. That a name?
Looks so. Yeah.
I might have seen it before, maybe like a month ago or so. Anyway, welcome. If not, sorry. Are there any meetups coming up? No. I'm visiting for the first time in September, scouting out Lisbon and Porto. Very, very good. We love Porto. It is beautiful up there. Can't wait to get back. We won't be here in September. We'll be here at the end of September. But check out Black in Portugal and Facebook group and POCs of Portugal Facebook group and see if I know Black in Portugal probably has some events happening because they have things that happen every month. As far as our Black Utopia, though, no. I think what I'm going to do is save the 2 events to something informal on the anniversary of our channel, which is March 20th, so around there, and then just have the one meetup in June around in between Juneteenth and the Our Rich Journey meetups. Hopefully, they won't be changing their dates either. So yeah. Whoops. Took your advice from last week. Oh, I saw this one. Oh, so I missed that other one. So glad you did that. Very happy for you. What metrics are you using for comparison to what? When you moved to Portugal, did you have to revise your last will and testament? We actually did our will and testament right before we moved. So we're embarrassed to say there was no updating because we didn't have one before that. I'm telling you guys, we did not have our stuff together. We didn't. And so, hey, jazzy old chick. Now, you're supposed to put a Q. Would you say that financial growth should be a lifetime goal, meaning that we should have goals no matter how old we are?
I think it's important.
I mean, yeah, but I think it depends by what you mean by financial goals, because some people did it right so that the financial goal is just to make sure they're not spending too much.
Right.
And they don't have to make any more, right? So so there should always be financial goals but financial growth, as far as financial growth and how we look at money and how we handle money, always growth is always good. But financial growth, as in having to grow it, only in that it's still staying in the stock market, right? And so whatever that does by just continuing to do that thing, right? But some people, Jazzy old chick, have done the thing for so long that they no longer have to worry about growing their money. They will never run out. We still have goals for several reasons. If we were going to spin down to zero, die with zero, then we would not necessarily still be in the growth phase right now, right? We would be in the maintain phase. But we're still on the generational wealth path.
I say, but it's generational wealth.
Yeah.
It's going to keep you on the growth phase.
It's keeping us on the growth path for now. Talk to us in 5 years. We might be back to dying at zero. We'll see. We'll see. Okay. So you put a Q. You put a Q. You put a Q this time. Thank you, sweetie. We appreciate it. Because sometimes y'all are talking to each other, right? And so I just need to know what is what. In preparation, I want to buy airfare in October. Good. Do now because for March travel. No. March. Not enough time. November, December, January, February, March. No. You want to start in August, Ange. I waited too late. And if you want to try and buy with points, I would start 6 to 7 months in advance. Because by the time I started like 3 to 4 months in advance, to 4.5, 5, all of the points flights that were direct were gone. And they were talking about a 12-hour flight turning into a 24-hour flight. And that was not worth it. So the visa issue starts in 2024. Yep. What do you suggest? Should I wait until to get the visa version? It's not a visa, baby girl. No. So it's Ange. I'm assuming you're a female. Sorry about that. Go ahead, baby. You were going to say.
No, I was going to say the same thing. It's not a visa.
Yeah.
It's more or less to clear you of what,
It's kind of like a security clearance.
Like a security clearance.
It's more, I would view
for
it.
€7.
Yeah.
Whatever.
I would view it more like a security clearance as opposed to a visa. And they're even saying it's not a visa. On their site, they say this is not a visa, and you could still be denied entry when you get to the border. So I would, I would not wait. I would go ahead and book your travel, and then come January, go ahead and get that done. It's not going to take, if you're not traveling until March, it's not going to take 3 months. No. They're saying you should get it on the spot, and you probably will, right? Like if you just got your passport, maybe it'll take 4 days. But if you've had your passport for a while, if you have TSA pre-check or global entry or something like that,
you should be good.
Well, I don't know. It didn't say this, but I'm just using logic.
Okay.
You should probably get one of those 2 to 3, 4 minute.
But then you have enough time to try again if you
to appeal
it.
Right, and all of that stuff. Exactly. All right. We're going to wrap this up with executing the plan, but I want to make sure we have gotten through we are talking about designing your dream life, and that we do not want you to just bumble your way through life and think it's all going to work out at the end and I will end up living happily ever after somehow or another. I have no idea how, but somehow I will get there. No, you won't.
Yeah.
No, you won't. You will be that bag lady, or you will be talking about welcome to Walmart. And that's you. I do not want that look for you. I do not want that. Whole bean or ground rig.
Whole bean.
In general, whole bean. Although somebody bought ground and we drank that too.
Oh yeah, it gets drunk too, but whole bean is preferable. Stays fresher.
Yeah, I'll be telling people to bring some slap your mama. Oh, what else did I forget? Oh, that other seasoning. We bought one thing, the Mexican seasoning with the lime in it.
Oh yeah.
Social Security is completely different than a 401k. Neither are affected by your company going out of business. Okay, she's talking to somebody else.
Talk to us.
Ricardo, I did not tell you to book another consultation. What I told you was to pack your bags.
But we're always happy to talk to you.
We are happy to talk to you, and
we missed you.
Yes, and we will, at the end of this conversation on the 9th, your bags are going to be packed, and we're going to book a ticket on that discussion because you got the money. There's no excuses.
Just come visit.
Let's go.
Come visit. Check it out.
So, Dave, we chose Portugal for 3 major reasons. And this is kind of getting back to the scouting trip and having a clear vision of your life, right? So for us, we wanted a place that was close in proximity to all of the other places we wanted to travel. We wanted a place that had the kind of weather that we wanted. We wanted a place that was mostly free as far as the political climate. We needed a place that had a tax scheme that we could afford. We wanted a place that could potentially offer another passport. So that's why Portugal.
No snow.
No snow. Yeah, I talked about the weather.
Okay. I didn't hear snow.
I didn't say snow.
Okay. Can you see my eyes?
BP, he has been working ever since you made that comment. He has been watching videos on lighting studios. Ever since you made that comment, he has been watching videos about lighting home studios, and he has been putzing around with these lights in the studio, which is why one of them was not, and it's turned away from us, was not plugged in. We listen to y'all. Isn't having a bird cage with no birds a waste of money?
You got a little dude standing up there. He's
now,
watching.
Dave, I know you're new. Are we talking from a place of love, or are we making a joke?
Besides, it came with the apartment.
It came with the apartment.
But a little dude likes standing up there.
You don't know that. It came with the apartment. As a matter of fact, 99% of the stuff behind us came with the apartment.
Little dude likes being on top of the bird cage.
So we have to have some stuff behind us so we don't look like we are refugees or POWs. That's all I'm saying, Lenora. It is choices. We want the choice to be able to write that $100 million check and still live the lifestyle that we're used to living. How's that for a big, hairy, audacious goal? And so that was the other thing that I didn't emphasize. When we're talking about a big, hairy, audacious goal, y'all, I mean a big, hairy, audacious goal. I mean something that sounds crazy, because when you talk about being able to write $100 million check in 10 years and maintain your lifestyle, that's audacious. That is audacious.
It is.
If we get halfway there, I would be ecstatic.
I'll still be Rick, but.
Oh, he's got jokes. He's got jokes. When your goal is to fire in 2 to 4 years, do you think buying a house just to rent it out is similar to taking a promotion or getting a degree you don't want? No, because the house does not require you to be there in order to provide you income.
Right.
The house can be an investment. Now, some can say the job is an investment too, or a degree is an investment. That's just a nice way of telling you you just paid some money for enslavement. Let's just be real. Because anytime you have to trade your time for money, that's enslavement. So you can call it employment or whatever you want to, but if you remain in debt, you're going to be enslaved. Now, when we're talking about buying a house, that's different. For one thing, you are putting down a certain amount of money to purchase equity, right? You're purchasing equity, hopefully, if you're doing it right. Even in today's market at 5.5% or whatever the doggone interest rates are today, if you buy something that's undervalued, then you will definitely have better chances of coming out ahead. But it should be an investment, and you should have automatic equity in it. Buy grandma's house. Don't buy something that's already been fixed up. Buy the one with the olive refrigerator. No, well, they probably don't come with, but with the olive tub still, you can get it reglazed. Yeah, they have the yellow ones, the olive ones.
Well, yellow, yeah, but olive?
Yep. Yep. My grandmother had olive. So, yeah, buy that one. Don't buy the one that's been all redone in the whites and grays, right? Because all of the equity has been spent out of it. And then soon as you reglaze it and put in some new countertops, boom, you've got, $50,000 to $70,000 worth of equity in it. And so you can let somebody else pay that mortgage off for you as you are renting it out and bopping around the world. I don't look at buying houses the same way I look at investing in a degree to get a job you probably don't want, to get more money to live a lifestyle. There are other ways to get that lifestyle. And I would buy 2 houses to get that lifestyle before I would go spend money on a degree.
People do that.
Yeah, I think real estate is the quickest way. Real estate is the quickest way. It really, really is. People sleep it. They look at buying houses the wrong way. They get all emotionally attached to it when really they should really be looking at it as a means to create money. So you buy something that is not your dream house, you buy it undervalued, you fix it up slowly but surely, and you sell it for more money. You don't take 100% of that money and put it into the new house. So now I have low payments, because you're never going to live there forever anyway. Take the bulk of that money and invest it in the stock market, and then put 3.5% down on that next house. Seriously. Not give it to a bank. Let the money make money for you. All right. Tangents tonight, folks. Tangents. Why does a lady cut her hair so short? Is something else going on? Dave, you're going to get blocked. Do you want to get blocked?
What is the question about?
I've always had short hair.
So short.
So no, I don't know what something else going on is besides the fact I don't want to F around doing my hair. Like guys don't F around doing their hair. Don't fool around and get blocked. I will block you. And because I look good with short hair.
Damn good with short hair, Dave.
That's why. Would you ever consider relocating to Mexico City? Yep. Did I say it fast enough? Yep.
We got residency there.
We have residency. The only thing Mexico City is missing is water. It's missing the water. And I'm tired of being landlocked. I was born and raised in Southern California. And so being landlocked in Colorado really did mess with my spirit. So that's the only thing. Although Mexico City is a lot closer to a beach than Colorado was. Rick and Alici's channel has grown big enough to attract random haters. Congrats, y'all. That's one way to look at it, Action VJ. We love you. We love you. We love the fact that you take things and spin it around and make it a positive. Oh, so you guys were in there backing us up. Okay, I will look back at it. But I'm not gonna waste time on folks who are trying to be haters or whatever, trying to get a rise out of me. Baby, you cannot get a rise out of me. I am retired, living my best life in Lisbon, Portugal. and he is my husband. I have nothing to despair about. You can get no rise out of me. If the dream is to be happy, yes. Why can't people be happy in America? Why do they have to move abroad? You can be happy wherever you want to be.
Abroad.
The question is, what do you want your life to look like? If you want your life to look like bopping around other parts of the globe, which are hard to get to from the United States, and you don't want to do what is necessary to have the kind of money to be able to make those cross-Atlantic trips as quickly and as much as you would like, then the choice is move abroad. So if Rick and I lived in Colorado, there's no way we could afford to come to Europe as much as we want to come to Europe. So might as well just live in Europe. The America's expensive, so that's another reason why it's difficult. But some people's dreams are in America.
Hey, we've had people wanting to move on a farm in Alabama and call it a day.
Yeah.
Hey, if it brings you joy.
Exactly. When we were there were some things that I really, really, really could appreciate about America. And, I know we talk a lot of crap about America, but there are a lot of great things about America too. And, some efficiency things and some other things as well. So I could see how people's dream life could be in America. Ours isn't. And it's hard for Black Americans' dream life to be in America. Love that you guys preach that you don't need 1 million to retire. No, other communities think 35 to 50,000 is living in poverty. Do you follow this? Do you follow Lean Fire? So I think it depends on where you live.
Yeah,
$50,000 in LA and you still have to pay rent, you're in poverty. $50,000 in Loveland, and you can afford and you can be in a 1-bedroom apartment, you're doing okay. So it all depends. Technically, I suppose we're on Lean Fire, Coast Fire, whatever you want to say. We are living off of one Social Security check is what we are doing. And all the rest of our money is growing money. So that's what we're doing. Other communities, yeah. So, Lean Fire is not an objective term, because what I consider Lean Fire and what somebody else considers Lean Fire may be two different things, right? So some people may think we live Lean Fire, and to me, being able to live like we live is not lean. It's moderate. It's just in the middle. What do I know? Some people will say, oh yeah, that's lean. You slept on a, what? You slept on an air mattress? You did what? What are the 2 documents for EU security check? I will put a link to the video that we gave you all of that information. So that's the video that we did on Thursday. We have to re-upload it. Something weird happened, y'all.
It cut
the first part off. I don't know what happened. I do not know what happened. Do you know the best or easiest English teaching job to get in Mexico? Lenora, baby. I'm not about working. I have no idea. But Adelia Borchade, Picky Girl Travels the World, was a teacher in Mexico on her channel, Picky Girl Travels the World. She talks several times about getting jobs in Mexico, getting jobs teaching English, etc. So that's where I would start. What are the names of the African restaurant you really like in Lisbon that was similar to Halisi's grandma's cooking?
What was the one we went to with
Naki?
With Naki.
It's that one.
I cannot remember the name of it.
You got me.
It was on the Avenue of Negros.
In Negros, yeah. I have a picture of it. Send me an email and I'll send you the name of it. So hello@ourblackutopia.com. Okay, back to business. Creating your dream life. You have a clear vision. You've created a plan. Now you have to execute the plan. You've got to have accountability. If you don't have measurable goals, like be bringing in $500,000 a year, or, able to write $100 million check. If you don't have goals that are measurable, I'm not sure how you work with that. They have to be measurable. There has to be a time. It has to be time sensitive, right? It has to be relevant to whatever it is that you are trying to do. So I don't like to make goals that are not measurable. So even if if a goal seems like, oh, I want to be healthier. I want to be healthier and happier. I put measurable goals. So healthier means that we are working out, 5 days a week, and that we are not on any other medication. You can measure that, right? So healthier may not be lose 10 pounds. That may not, you could lose 10 pounds and not be any healthier. So think about what it is, what your goal is, and make sure that it's measurable and that you've put some kind of criteria around it to be able to measure it. Then you want to make sure that you have an accountability partner. As I said, I got an accountability partner through the Exodus Summit crew. So through that community of Black women, we have a crew of men and women, a community in our Fire Over 50 Facebook group.
Right.
For folks from the African diaspora, you don't have to be over 50, but you do have to be into getting your money straight. So you could potentially find an accountability partner in the Facebook group or in some other Facebook group, or you may have somebody, or maybe your partner is your accountability partner, or your spouse. Maybe a friend is. You should not have a friend be your accountability partner who does not believe in your vision of your life.
Right. And what you're doing, what you're trying to accomplish.
What you don't want is someone who's like, why you want to do that? That's what you don't want. No. That's what you don't want. And we know who those people are. They are not going to give you what you need to hold you accountable. They're going to talk you out of it because you're going to make them look at themselves, and they don't want to look at themselves. Have you changed? So when you meet with your accountability partner, you're going to ask yourself, have you changed behavior to integrate new habits towards your goal? Are we walking every day?
Every day. So you start your habits, which I never really thought about until you brought it up, by taking a little bit at a time. Instead of saying, well, I'm going to walk 5 miles a day.
I ain't going to do that.
If you say, well, we're going to set a goal to walk at least 10 minutes a day and no more. And just walk your 10 minutes a day, you're actually building up. You're building up something new that you're doing. So
it could be 5 minutes a day.
10 minutes a day, 5 minutes a day, but then you start finding out you're walking further. But you're doing it every day instead of just 10 minutes a day. Now you're doing, well, I'm going to go walk through the store. Then I'm going to start walking down to the end of the block. Then I'm going to start walking, but you're doing it. You're building that habit. So.
Right. Because for me, if I say, okay, well, let's walk 5 miles, then my feet will be sore and I won't want to do it the next day.
Yeah.
Why would I want to do it? My feet hurt. Why would I want to do it? But if you tell me just 10 minutes, I can do that. So I can commit to walking 10 minutes every day. We walk 10 minutes every day. Before you know it, you're walking an hour every day, as opposed to walking 5 miles because you don't know when you're going to walk again, because you know good and well you don't want to be out in this heat or the cold or whatever, right? So it's kind of that 1% rule, right?
Yeah.
Every month, every week, whatever, just try to walk 1% further. But if you start with something that you know you're willing to do, it's easier to create the habit. Right? So,
like they always say, well, watch TV, listen to Portuguese on TV. Well, we haven't really watched television here. So I haven't really had a chance to sit there and listen to Portuguese just in the background or anything. But, I find out if I watch a video or something like that on a Portuguese lesson, then I kind of understand it. I'm struggling with learning it by an instructor on Zoom. I'm struggling at it, and I find myself not taking anything about from my instructor, but I find myself looking at my watch more than looking at my instructor.
Ooh,
Yeah,
that's not good.
yeah, I know. It's like, okay, when is this going to be done?
That's not good. Though I understand because sometimes you just don't feel like being bothered. But either way it goes, if you just do a little at a time, right? You watch that one video
Right.
every day as opposed to 5 hours of practice a day, just 10 hours of practice a day or 10 minutes of practice a day, right? And if we do that every single day, then before you know it, you've built up that muscle memory, you've built up that habit.
Right.
If you're not doing it, again, ask yourself why. Do you really want that goal? Do you really want to learn Portuguese? Do you?
I do. I think I do, but I want to learn it in a fun way, and I'm not having fun.
There's going to be parts that aren't fun.
I know.
There are going to be parts that are just memorization. I hate to say it.
Mm.
So when you look at the things that you are not accomplishing, ask yourself why and reevaluate whether you really want the desired outcome. Do you really want to learn Portuguese?
Right.
And if you
I'm
do,
reevaluating.
then maybe you're going about it the wrong way. Because it shouldn't be such a battle for you to do the thing to get what you want,
No,
right?
it shouldn't be.
If you really want it. He thinks I'm talking to him. I thought I was talking to y'all, but he thinks I'm talking to him.
Well, I hear you. So,
So is there an easier way to accomplish the same thing? So maybe you should look online and see if one of the things is using Language Reactor, but we're going to talk about this offline.
okay.
We'll talk about this offline. So, all right. So that is the deal, folks, to designing your dream life. That is the deal. And it's as simple as that. I think the main thing is you have to make sure that you're asking yourself the right questions. We were not asking ourselves the right questions. We were not asking ourselves the right questions, and we were not being honest about the real outcome that we wanted. It's really so, I don't know if it's a religious thing or an American thing to talk about all of these altruistic things. You never want to just say, I want the money so that I can go out there and have fun. Why can't we just say it? Oh, I'm going to be this. And or maybe, you're going to do something that's pretty traditional. I'm going to be an accountant so that I can then have time to volunteer to do blah, blah, blah. Nobody wants to do any of that stuff. You want to have fun. It's hard to have your heart into volunteering to help folks if you don't like your own life. I do so much more with a joyous heart when I love my own life. When I'm miserable in my own life, you still do the thing because you got to do the thing to help folks. But I don't think that you can do it with as much fervor and with as much gusto as you can when you're happy. So why aren't we just honest about what we want? All right, what are you guys talking about? And then we're going to let you go. I'm going to go all the way to the end and work my way back. If I missed your question, ask it again. Can you recap the list, please? Thanks. Yes. So it is, I'm not going to recap the whole list, but basically have a clear vision and make sure you're asking yourself the right questions.
Have a clear plan.
Yeah. With a clear vision, the question is not, what do I want to do for a living or how can I make more money? It is, what do I want my life to look like? Then
have a clear plan
with measurable goals. because measurable goals will allow you to execute it so that you can then look back and say, all right, are we making steps towards being able to write $100 million check without missing a beat?
And you have to execute the plan.
Yes, which means creating habits on a daily, weekly, monthly basis to move you closer. Executing a plan is taking regular action. That's all it is. There's no magic. Creating new habits, right?
And it does help to have an accountability partner.
Yes. Yes. I think it was called Mamba, James.
That sounds.
I think it was called Mamba. It is Cape Verdean, and it's on Rua de Negros or something Negros. You know we would remember that name. How do you find an accountability partner? So we talked about that, right? Look in the Facebook groups. I would start with the Facebook groups. If you know you don't have somebody in your life who is like-minded,
you'll find a lot on Facebook groups. People that are into the same things.
TW, I thought you were saying it was going to be hard to stay vegan in Spain because they didn't have enough vegan restaurants. No, because the food is so good. Well, then don't stay vegan. Maybe you don't need to stay vegan. Like, why do you want to stay vegan? Here we go again. In America, you become vegan because why? There are certain outcomes you want. Why would you give up ribs unless it was causing something that was bad? Because ribs are good. If you like the taste of ribs, why would you give them up? Oh, because they have a negative effect. So I'm going to become a vegan so I have these outcomes with my body. If you can eat more stuff and have the same outcomes with your body, would you? Or is it a moral conviction or some kind of conviction regarding the, the atmosphere, not the atmosphere. What am I trying to think of? What's the word?
The atmosphere?
Yeah, not the ecology, the, global warming and all that.
Oh, now you got me thinking.
See, I lost my word, but you know what I'm saying. So unless you being vegan is part of your value system.
To save the earth, save the planet.
Yeah.
Type thing.
Ecology.
So
unless being a vegan is part of a moral statement, why? Why? And maybe Dave is a troll. Yeah. Yeah, Dave. See, you picked the wrong place, David. You picked the wrong place. This is not the place to come in here talking yakety smackety. I have long hair and thinking about doing the big chop only because I want to, because I can. And tell Dave, this is long.
It is.
This is long. Can you tell us about your experience in Mexico City one day? So I've never been to Mexico City. It is on my list because of Adelia Borshade and Rashida Dow. That's why it's on my list, because what they have said about the city. But we've never been. We were gonna go this time, but our friend decided to have his 60th birthday party and we had to be back for that. And I'm so glad we did because it was so much fun. And it was so lovely seeing everybody. More house sitting near the future. How did you get your first 2 referrals? Okay, very, very quickly. So our next house sit is in Spain. We don't have any other ones scheduled because we've got to go see what's happening with our language classes, but we have a 3-hour this is going to be a 3-hour show in a minute. We have a 3-week house sit in Spain. We got our first 2 referrals by doing house sits in the city where we're from. So we're from Denver. We got our first 3 house sits actually in Denver while we were there, packing up, filling out paperwork for our visas and things like that. It was nice to be able to leave the house of chaos where all the packing was happening and go and sleep someplace else. Actually, I was actually kind of nice. And so it made it easy to get those first referrals, to get those 5 stars. We had friends give us letters of reference. So one of my best friends gave me a letter of reference and just basically said I had taken care of her dogs before, which I hadn't, but I had taken care of one of her kids. So there you go.
This is jazzy old chick saying.
Kids are more important than pets, right? I don't understand why you are speaking negatively about education and work. You guys are working as we speak. How are you going to get money for the stock market without a job? So it's not speaking negatively about education and work, Jazzy. It is about looking at it and giving it more importance than it needs. We don't say, what kind of life do you want to live? That's not what we ask our kids. We ask them, what do we want to be when you grow up? Like, that's all there is to life. And that's the thing. Like, there has to be more to life than work and then the education necessary to get the work. And you don't need either of those to make money. We know people like Steve Jobs was a dropout, right? Like, we know people who've never gotten a college degree and just maybe even have a high school diploma with no college education who are millionaires. So we know that higher education and a traditional job are not necessary for wealth.
Didn't what's his name drop out of college? Mr. Tesla?
Maybe.
I believe he did.
So if we know that, then why do we ask the question, what do you want to be when you grow up? Because we are preparing, because we have been brainwashed to prepare our kids to be cogs in the system, in the GDP system, right? So work should be kept in its place, right? So working to live and living to work. Which one do you want to do? Which one do you want to be? Do you want to live to work? Or do you want to work so that you can live and not give it any more importance than that? We're not beating the heat. Oh, you guys are watching live. Hey there, how are you,
Yeah,
Christina
we
and
ain't beating
Amon?
it. It's hot in this.
It is hot. We are sweating. We do have I'm a block day. I think he left. I think he got a clue. So we do have AC, but we don't have AC in this room. So
of all the rooms.
Right. So we are hot and we are going to end this. Oh, thank you guys. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for watching.
We love you guys.
We love you too. We would not be here. I'm going to just say, we would not be here talking to you guys if it was not for Christina and Ahmad of Our Rich Journey. We had never heard of FIRE. I had never paid attention to Portugal. I had heard of Portugal. I had never paid attention to Portugal until Rick ran across Christina and Ahmad and said, you got to check out this family. And then I avoided the money stuff because I'm not talking about no money. That means I got to look at our stuff and see how jacked up it is.
You have to look at the numbers.
And look at and see how we. I don't want to look at that. I just want to move to Portugal. That's all. Just show me Portugal. Let's not talk about the money.
But we're glad we did.
When will your real estate investment course be completed? I'm ready. I know, high vibe. I bit off more than I could chew. I'm just gonna be honest. I bit off more than I could chew. I thought I would have more time in the States. I don't know why. I thought I would have more time in June. I don't know why. Everything went to the meetups and everything like that. I don't know why, but I am working on it. And I will give you some updates after this week. I'm visiting. Okay, so I think we have gone through all of the comments. We're going to let y'all go. We're going to let y'all go. We're going to let y'all go. Okay. And we're going to let you go. Take the time on this Sunday to design your dream life. Design your dream life. Don't start with the money. Start with the dream. And then figure out the money and make sure how you're going to make the money is going to support the dream. All right. And we will see you. Will we see them on Thursday? No. We'll see you next week.
Next Sunday.
All right. Love y'all. Bye.